Welcome to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, your host. This is the third episode of the year produced together with students in Professor Rich Lenosi's studio television production class. The class meets on Friday mornings, but these students work really hard during the week to prepare for these Facebook Live broadcasts. They plan, film, and edit news stories, and run all of the equipment that makes Middlesex Moments happen. Thanks, everybody. Later in today's show, we'll meet Donna Hylton, Professor of Computer Information Technology and the founding Executive Director of STEAM Train, an educational nonprofit organization located right here in Middletown. But first up, our news segment called In the Loop. Time for a few short stories highlighting some of the many great things happening at your community college. Middlesex Community College is proud to announce that we recently earned a gold ranking in the National Military-Friendly Schools list for 2022-23 in the Small Community College category. Middlesex has been recognized at different levels every year since 2011, earning gold previously in 2019. As part of our commitment to serving those who've served our country, we provide dedicated space on the Middletown campus, known as the Veterans Oasis Center. This is a place for veterans and military members to network, socialize, and study. The center schedules workshops with the Department of Labor and the Veterans Administration and works closely with the student-run Veterans Club. Congratulations. On Friday, April 29th, Middlesex Community College will host its 8th annual Academic Convivium. This special event was created to highlight student research projects, performances, poster sessions, and demonstrations. The Convivium focuses on students in the college's honors program, but all students are invited to participate. The Middlesex Moments crew met honors student Julia Noriega to learn about her Convivium.
Here at Middlesex Community College, we present the Convivium, an academic conference led by honors students on topics and issues around the world that interest them. Julia Noriega, an honors student, presents fast fashion.
So the topic I picked for my capstone is fast fashion, and fast fashion is often termed as the democratization of fashion. So it's the rapid and widespread production of really on-trend pieces that are often made with lower quality material and are like the way that they're assembled is lower quality as well. And the consumption of fast fashion is super prevalent in the Western culture, especially America. The honors program did a really good job of helping me get prepared for writing my essay and forming my presentation, because they kind of make you make an outline of what you want to write about. They make you think about it. They make you go get your sources. So having that extra push behind you, having those like deadlines before when that actual presentation is going to happen really helped me to kind of get in gear and actually start working. I'm really excited for the Convivium because I'm really looking forward to sharing something that I'm so passionate about and about practices that I partake about in my own life. And I want to be able to kind of share the information about fast fashion that I've learned. And I know that a lot of people will walk away feeling differently about the way that they consume clothes, and I'm really looking forward to that.
The Middlesex Community College Academic Convivium is open to the public. We'll be back in person on campus for the first time since 2019. Stop by Chapman Hall on our main campus, beginning anytime after 9:30 a.m. on Friday, April 29th. Please help support our students and see all the great work they've been doing. Finally, save this date, Saturday, May 21st at 9 a.m. and join us for the Middlesex Community College Foundation's annual fundraising road race. Grad Dash has 2 courses, a 5K and a 10K, and they follow the beautiful tree-lined roads along the reservoirs behind our campus. You can run, or you can walk, which means even I can participate. Proceeds from Grad Dash go to support the Foundation's scholarship program, which awards nearly $100,000 to Middlesex students each year. Grad Dash will follow any necessary COVID guidelines for road races, and to register today, please visit mxcc.edu/run. Now you're in the loop with what's happening at Middlesex Community College, the only public college or university located in Middlesex County. After a short break, we'll meet Donna Hylton, Professor of Computer Information Technology and the Executive Director of STEAM Train, an educational nonprofit organization right here in Middletown. This is Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
In times of uncertainty when everything changes, take control of your future at Middlesex Community College. Take courses to transfer or start a new degree. Middlesex is determined to help you succeed. Worried about paying? Save thousands on tuition over university costs, and flexible payment options are available. Take control of your future at Middlesex Community College, the way forward. Register now at MxCC.edu.
I really had no idea of what I wanted to do, so I worked a lot of minimum wage jobs. And finally, I was just like, I just need to go back to school because I wanted to get a business degree. And Middlesex Community College was super convenient. I got a lot out of Middlesex. I never thought I would have reached this far with my associate's degree. It allowed me to buy a house. I was able to get married. It was a dream.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm your host, Dr. Steve Minkler. Donna Hylton is a professor and coordinator of the Computer Information Technology and Management Information Systems programs at Middlesex Community College. She's been with us for 25 years, joining the college after working in the IT field. Donna, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
You have a really interesting story about what brought you here to Middlesex. Tell us about your background and how you got here.
Oh, sure. Well, I had previously worked in IT. I worked as a programmer and as an information systems manager for several years at an insurance company. And then I became a stay-at-home mom. And while I was home, I said, you know, if I wanted to go back to work, what might I be able to do? I found an ad in the newspaper that Middlesex was hiring, and I thought, maybe I could couple my love for teaching with my background in IT. And I applied for a job as an adjunct. I came in 1997 as an adjunct in the fall, and I started teaching a class called Introduction to Computers. So that's how I came here.
Now, what are some of the other courses that you teach here at the college?
Okay, so over time I've taught many courses. I was actually hired at full-time because of my background in programming to teach COBOL programming, of all things. Over the years I've taught database design, I've taught operating systems, database access, Excel, Intro to Computers, Intro to MIS. The internship, which is one of my favorites, is a course that I teach. So I've taught a number of courses over time, and in the recent years I've kind of settled in a niche of teaching the Introduction to Computers class, Introduction to MIS class, and the internship class as I balance the administrative duties of being a program coordinator with the duties of being in the classroom.
And you mentioned the Intro to Computers class and classes like that. I think those are essential for a student in any major, aren't they?
Oh my gosh, it absolutely is. I love teaching that class because very often students come to us thinking they already know everything about computers because they grow up with the technology, but they really lack the skills that are needed for the marketplace. So in that class, very often I'll have them take a pre-test because they come in and they tell me how much they know. I'll have them take a pre-test, which challenges them to go into Excel and perform some functions or to see what they know about some of the advanced features of Word or Access. Forget about that one. They seldom know what to do. And invariably, they'll come out of the class saying, wow, I didn't realize how much I don't know. Because it's the type of class that gives us digital literacy skills, which are so important for today's workplace. So it doesn't matter really what your major is. You don't have to be an IT major to be tethered to a computer and to know how to navigate products like Outlook, Teams, you know, just knowing how to make your way in and out of the Microsoft Office suite is very important. The other reason it's important, I think, is because the K through 12 system over the last several years have really transitioned to being a Google-based environment. And so students really come in with that set of skills, and they don't know the Microsoft world. They don't know how to go around in Windows. They don't know how to use some of the other applications that you'll find very often in the workplace. So we get them ready.
All right. Well, speaking of getting them ready, I mean, IT and anything with technology seems to be changing so rapidly. So how have you kept your courses and your program fresh and current?
Well, I'm fortunate to have an advisory board And the advisory board consists of people from industry and even people from some of our local feeder high schools. They inform us of what's coming down the road, and I also have had the privilege of going to conferences where I meet with other instructors from around the country who teach similar courses, and that keeps me informed. So through the advisory board, through my own research, and through conferences, I get to know what's coming down the road. And I always love to have our students experiment. So for example, we have a partnership through the system where we have Microsoft Office's entire suite, but seldom do we dive in to see what other products are there. One of the things that I enjoy doing is giving students a problem and saying, okay, now go find a solution. So for example, I gave them a challenge and they found, oh, we have a product in here called Bookings. Before we even were using Bookings to make appointments and to schedule, things on campus, they discovered, wow, this is in the Microsoft Office suite. Let's figure out how to use it. Case in point, several years ago, we discovered that there's a product called Teams. And I had members of the tech center work on figuring out, well, how can we use this? How can we maximize this? And we experimented, we found a way to do it. We even made a YouTube video about Teams and shared that with students. So I love digging and finding out what is the new thing that we can take advantage of. I'm glad we did, because fast forward to the time of the pandemic, we found it very useful to use products like those.
Right, and they shared it not only with fellow students, but with us who work here,
Yes.
Giving us really a clue of how to use this stuff. And
Absolutely.
I think that kind of builds to another question I had for you, which is, there's a saying that goes, your network is your net worth. And you are a believer and a practitioner between, connecting students with people who work here at the college, but also with the IT professionals. And what are some of the ways that you've done that?
Well, over the years, we have had an event called a networking event, and that's hosted by the Computer Club. When students are in the Computer Club, they come to us because they have an interest in technology. Sometimes they don't know where that will lead. They don't know what careers to pursue. The same for our majors. So I would get industry professionals from all different aspects of the IT field, from database administrators to cybersecurity experts, programmers, managers, you name it. And I would bring them together for this event where they would pretty much set up booths and students could get to interact with them. So we were really proud of that. And then later on, we also had another event called Tech Fest. And again, that was bringing not just our students, but we actually brought in high school students from local high schools to interact with professionals and to find out what it is that they do. We've even taken them on tours of this very Center for New Media as we expose them not only to the IT field, but also to careers in media. I love bringing students together with professionals. I think it's really important. I think it's important to investigate the career that you think you want to approach. I remember at one of our networking events, one of our presenters was showing them some very cool new programming things. And one of the students thought that he wanted to do programming. But after exploring that, he found more synergy with somebody who was doing more the technical side of IT. Wouldn't you prefer to find that out early on? And then you can then figure out, okay, I think maybe what I'll do is I'll go down the path of the networking track versus the programming track. So as much as we can expose students early on, I think it's important in their career formation.
And you also believe in exposing students to the diversity of the people in these professions too.
Oh,
You seeing someone who
absolutely.
looks like you in that profession is highly important.
Absolutely. I think another really important thing for our program is our internship. So yes, we can bring professionals in and you can talk about it, and have them interact and ask questions, but our internship actually allows them to experience the workplace. So for a whole semester, they get to go out to a job and they get to show up every day like an employee. Now, before they go to an internship placement, I have an interview with them, a conversation about, okay, what do you like to do? What do you see yourself doing in the future? What has been the most interesting courses that you've taken? And then I literally line them up with an employer that matches their interest. So there's a love connection of sort. And then they go out and they get to experience the workplace. And I'm super proud to say that so many of our students are hired right out of their internship class.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
So 25 years here at Middlesex Community College, and you've announced you intend to retire at the end of the school year.
I do.
Tough
I
decision?
just wanted to clarify that 25 years I started, but I started when I was age 10.
Of course. So early retirement.
No, I'm only kidding. Yes, I'm going to retire at the end of this semester. It's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
When I first came here, I didn't envision being here for 25 years.
Well, and
Here
you've
I am.
left your mark here, and I think one of your legacies is the Technology Center. And we're going to take a look at a video that the Middlesex Moments crew had put together to highlight the Tech Center. Why don't we take a look and see what the crew found out?
The MxCC Computer Club Technology Center is a hub for hands-on exploration, information sharing, and service learning.
The Technology Center offers a wide range of services, hardware and software, troubleshooting and support.
In addition to offering free services, part of the Computer Club's mission is to foster lively discussion about technology.
I come to the Technology Center because I really enjoy learning about all of the technology here. I have been interested in technology for a long time, but never really got the chance to experiment with it the way I have in the Technology Center. I think it's really cool.
Well, we have done many things for the Computer Club. We have done gaming days, we have done laptop giveaways. Computer Club has been an avid member of the Senate for a while now. One thing I do love about Computer Club is the people. I thought this is kind of a community I want to be a part of.
The Computer Club also sponsors numerous events for the community.
We work together with the college community. We have offered e-cycling event where we gather electronics from the community and properly recycle them.
I like being able to educate others and be educated on the subject of technology and computers, and I really enjoy creating that kind of space for other students at Middlesex.
Donna, that's a really special legacy to leave this college.
Oh, I almost get emotional thinking about it.
Well, it's time for a short break, and when we come back, more with my guest Donna Hylton, and we'll talk about the next chapter in her life after retiring from Middlesex in just a few short weeks. When we come back, more of Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
My classes at Middlesex Community College have been mostly online, though partially on campus. I've really enjoyed them. The teachers have been very accommodating to students. It's a safe place, it's a safe environment. They're making sure that everyone's wearing masks. It's been really nice to have the online experience as well as the on-ground experience. And chase your dreams, don't let the pandemic stop you from wanting to do what you want to do, whether it be filmmaking or anything else.
Action.
So the reason I chose the Middlesex Veterinary Technology program was because of all the opportunities it had with Piper Olson Veterinary. There's no other place where you would have access to that. I would definitely recommend Middlesex to anybody who's interested in that career because you're going to be 100% prepared to start your job. That is really empowering.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm your host, Dr. Steve Minkler. I've been chatting with my guest, Donna Hylton, who's professor and coordinator of the Computer Information Technology and Management Information Systems programs at Middlesex Community College. We talked about earlier, Donna's retiring at the end of this school year, but she has a very busy life outside of the college, and you and your husband, Paul Hylton, serve as Christian ministers in the Shiloh Christian Church right down the street from the college.
That's correct.
And you have an amazing and growing congregation. That's an exciting thing to be part of, isn't it?
It's a real joy to serve in that area of ministry. Paul and I have been doing this now since 1988.
Wow.
And we're so grateful to God for that assignment.
Okay. And you're also the founding executive director of a new nonprofit organization called STEAM Train.
Yes.
How did that get started?
Interesting question. STEAM Train is an outgrowth, actually, of a project that I attempted when I was taking a sabbatical leave from the college in 2017. I wanted to go into the community and raise a culture of STEM, especially among underrepresented people of color and women. One of the alarming statistics that I discovered when I was doing one of the reports that I had to submit for my program review was that in the history of the IT major here at the college, there was only one African American female who had earned that degree. And up to a few years ago, I had never seen an African American woman earn a degree. And so I wanted to approach this challenge by going into the community and innovating projects and programs that would not just try to attract adults, but really inspire young people of color to attempt science, technology, engineering, and math. And so during my sabbatical leave, I piloted a few different initiatives, one being a STEM camp for children, got kids in the community excited about STEM. The other being a mobile application development STEM camp that I actually did here, and students learned how to program an app for an iOS device. And then after that, we initiated a project where we taught women how to build websites. We partnered with a local businessman who came in, and we took 5 women through a pilot program. And at the end of the program, a single mother of 2 who had never done programming before was able to launch into a career as a web development apprentice. So the leaders that organized with me to kind of innovate this STEAM train, we thought about, what do we do now? Now that we've seen that we can inspire young people, some of the young teenagers who came to the programming camp here decided after that they would major in computer science. They found a direction, they found a niche because we offered an opportunity to experience something new. We said we have touched a nerve in the community, especially among people of color, and we didn't want to stop. I said, but I'm going back to work. I'm going back to my full-time job. What do we do? They said, don't worry. I think we should organize, we should incorporate, we should just keep this train going. And that's how STEAM Train first got its start. And then from then, we've just scaled. Yeah. So in 2018, we incorporated as a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. We've since partnered with so many agencies and corporations, and the programs that we piloted during my sabbatical leave have just grown. They have grown exponentially, and we've added new partnerships and new programs since then.
And you have expanded your reach beyond Middletown. You're working with other school districts around the state.
I have.
Yeah.
We have new partnerships with a high school in New Haven. I've done programming in Waterbury. We are now working with a high school in Hartford. In addition, we're working very closely with the Middletown Public Schools. As a matter of fact, right now we're running a program at Snow School called STEAM Machine, where discoveries are made.
Oh, that's cool.
It's for 4th and 5th graders. So it keeps growing, and the need is evident. I've been approached by someone who wants to take STEAM Train to another state, to New Jersey. Yeah. So who knows?
Right. And you're offering a program here at the Middlesex Community College this summer, right?
I am. Yeah. I'm excited to offer it. It's called the Connect and Tech Camp. The abbreviation is CIT Camp, so kind of borrowed a little bit from my CIT program. But in that week, we're going to be teaching students how to refurbish laptops. So they're going to get inside, they're going to take it apart, put it together, load it with the operating system. They're going to meet a professional of color who's in the IT field. And then here's the best part. At the end of the program, they get to keep the laptops. If they have a need, they get to keep the laptops and they get to take them home. And if they don't have a need, then those laptops are given to the technology center, my little baby, and they will be used as a part of our loaner inventory. Because as you know, in the tech center, if a student doesn't have a computer, they can borrow it for the entire semester just by coming up and showing their ID.
And that's fantastic. And one of your partnerships is with, we'll say, a major corporation?
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you told a story. Actually, you told a story about how that came to be. It was almost, I wouldn't say a dare, but a challenge from your husband, right?
So when STEAM Train started, Paul, who's my biggest cheerleader, he said, Donna, you should approach Microsoft. I bet Microsoft would fund you because of the work that you're doing. And initially, Steve, I must admit, I thought it was a little crazy to think of a little entity like SteamTrain being financed by an organization like Microsoft. Well, fast forward the clock, a colleague who works over at Community Health Center got an email from Microsoft saying that they were looking to fund an African-American-led nonprofit that was doing digital training primarily among communities of color and positioning them for work. We checked every box. She sent it to me because she knew of SteamTrain, and she said, I think you should apply, Donna. When I looked at the grant application, it was significant, but I met with members of our SteamTrain family. We put our heads together, we applied, and guess what? We were the only nonprofit from the state of Connecticut selected for the grant. 1,300 across America applied. They chose 50, and we are so blessed to be the one that they chose from Connecticut.
That's incredible.
They're funding us for 3 years, and they also give us technology support, professional development. It's just been amazing.
And I think you told me the only one in Connecticut, but one of only 3 in New England, I think?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, there were 2 in Massachusetts, and SteamTrain being the only one in Connecticut.
So that's working that network. Big
Yes,
time.
big time, big time. I'm just so thrilled to be in that partnership.
So this really is, you're retiring from teaching full-time here at the college, but this really is a next chapter. It's not like you're retiring and you're busy, and this will allow you to focus on this work, this ministry, this calling is what it is.
It really is. I'm just really privileged to be in this space. I think in your life, you go through seasons. So you have the period of learning, we all go through that. And then you have the period where maybe you're focused on earning. And I think in retirement, I look forward to returning, to giving back, to helping encourage other young people to pursue opportunities that will make a difference, not only in their lives, but in the lives of America as a whole.
Wow. Well, that kind of leads me a little bit to my last question, and the time we have left is, so as you retire, what advice would you give to any incoming new faculty member to Middlesex Community College?
First of all, I would like them to realize that this is an incredible place to work. It's a very nurturing environment, and that they have the privilege of empowering the next generation of whatever the discipline is. You have the privilege of empowering people to see themselves as really the great individuals that they are. So I would say embrace every aspect of it and build relationships with students. Include rigor in your program and make sure that you're teaching with relevance. Those are the 3 R's that I think we all should live by.
That sounds fantastic. And thank you for bringing that to this college for a quarter century.
Yeah.
Really. And thanks for being my guest today at Middlesex Moments, Professor Donna Hylton.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. And many thanks to you, our listeners and viewers, for joining us for this week's Middlesex Moments. As always, please visit us in person. Our main campus is located at 100 Training Hill Road in Middletown, or you could visit us at our Meriden Center located at Platt High School, 220 Coe Avenue, where we offer afternoon and evening classes 4 days a week. And of course, you can visit us online 24/7 at mxcc.edu. From Middlesex Community College, I'm Steve Minkler, and we'll see you next week.